welcome back to my channel. Today I filmed an updated foundation routine. This has pretty much been my everyday go-to, the steps that I use to create this look, and I really have been digging it. It's much more skin-like, it's glowy, it's youthful, and I am completely obsessed with it. The new products and the techniques I've been using, I'm really happy with. So if you guys want to know how I've been changing up my routine, let's go ahead and jump right on into this. First things first is definitely skincare. So I have got all my skincare on. I've let it sink into my skin for about 20 minutes. Again, you want to do that just so that everything has sunken into your skin so you don't put your makeup on and it just slides right off your face. Today I used my MAC softening lotion from the Delightful C collection, the DEJ eye cream from Revisions, and then I used the face base, the vitamin enriched face base from Bobbi Brown. This kind of doubles as a primer and like a moisturizer, so I do switch up my skincare a little bit, but I used this guy today. If you guys would also like to see an updated skincare routine, just let me know. So I'm going to move on to my primers. These have not changed at all, so I'm going to go in with my MAC Prep and Prime Skin Refined Zone. The only thing that has changed with this is that I do now put it on my nose, whereas I used to not, because I felt like it would grab and kind of accentuate dryness. And I think that the only reason why I can now is because of the Retin-A. Like, it really cleans out your pores and smooths out your skin. So I think I've used it long enough now that my nose doesn't catch this like it used to. And then I'm also going to put a little bit on my chin and then right up here. Those are the spots that I get shiny real quick. And then I take the Makeup Forever Step 1 Equalizer in the smoothing, and I only put this on my pores. It is a drying formula, so if I put this all over my face, A, it's thick, and B, it's a little drier, I will look like a cake face. So I only put this on my pores, and it does a really amazing job of smoothing them out. Now for foundation. So I pick up these three the most. I use MAC Studio Water Weight, Kogendo Aqua Foundation, and then the MAC Pro Longwear Nourishing Waterproof. I don't go in with this all over my face unless I'm on the motorcycle, but these two I've kind of been switching back and forth, and I used this one yesterday, so I'm going to use this one today. So I'm going in with the Kogendo, and I am in the shade 113. Now I take that on a damp beauty blender and just start pouncing it around. I have found that I like more of a skin-like texture to my skin, and I don't want to look in person like I have a whole lot of foundation on. So when I say that I don't really take the MAC Pro Longwear Waterproof all over my face, the reason why is because I want you to kind of be able to see my skin. And what I do is, if I am broken out, like where, oh my god, that NARS new one just destroyed my skin. I still have a little spot here, one here, and then a few here that are like trying to heal up on me. I go back in with this one, and I'll show you how I do that. But for a base all over, I use either the Studio Water Weight or this one, the Kogendo Aqua Foundation. So I just put one layer all over my face. So as you can see, that gives you a really nice, just skin-like finish. And if you see right here that I'm a little red, I totally just smacked myself in the mirror. Don't ask how that happened. It's my life. And I do kind of skip over my lip area. I find that when I put makeup there, I end up, like, it starts to separate no matter what foundation it is. So if I do even go over it, I go back with my finger and like wipe off anything I can get off, because it just looks a hot mess there by the end of the day. So I find if I just don't put anything there, then it looks a lot better. So now this is where my waterproof foundation comes into play. This one is both a foundation and a concealer, and I find that I like the consistency of this a lot better than most concealers, or all concealers that I could use on my face. So what I've been doing is, like, when I have like a little spot or just something that I need a little extra coverage, but I don't want coverage everywhere, I go in with like literally a dot of this. Like I will take a tiny, tiny, tiny little amount, pop it on here, and then I go in with my Beauty Blender, kind of work the product around on the Beauty Blender, and then just pop over where I want a little bit extra coverage. I don't feel like I really needed that much today, but just for the sake of showing you guys what I do, this is what I do. Now this is when I go in with my concealer, and I've been addicted to this guy, so I'm just going to continue to use it. This is the Urban Decay Naked Skin Concealer. I'm trying to use less of this because I find if I use less, then it looks less crepey up here. So I'm going to put the majority right on the inner corners and drag down, and then just a few swipes, and then that will be done. Usually I would go a lot more. I'm going to go a little there, down here. I skip this area again and just do like that. Taking my damp Beauty Blender again and tapping this out. This is my favorite way to do concealer. I can use brushes for my foundation. My favorite one is the MAC Oval 6 if I'm not going to use this. But for concealer, I can't get on board with anything else for a daily thing because this just does it so well. And the shade I use in the NARS, I want to call it NARS. I think it's because I hear everyone say NARS Radiant Creamy all the time. With the Urban Decay concealer is the Light Fair Neutral, I think. Fair Neutral. So it's like one shade down from what I am. And I like this because it gives me a nice amount of brightness without it being too much. But who am I kidding? You guys know I love too much like under eye brightness. I'm totally down for it. Now I'm going to go in with my absolute to die for favorite holy grail. Love this Ethereal Light by Hourglass. I'm telling you guys, I get asked this more than anything else is, why is your under eye so bright? It is because of this powder. It is so beautiful. It does not over dry like my under eye. It's flippin' gorgeous. So I use my damp Beauty Blender and just go straight into this and then start right over my pores and then drag out. I don't have the product going all the way up to my eye. I don't like for powder to be that close to my eye, but I do bring it pretty much to right here. And I just pounce this in. And you can see how much brighter this side is than this side. Then I'm going to go down the center of my nose, chin, and forehead. I don't put as much product in those areas either. Now talking about Holy Grail, like I think I will die if I do not have this powder. Like Mehr, the powder, is the freaking bomb. I never thought in a million years me would like a translucent powder to set my face because I typically like to have a little bit extra coverage. No, this is my life. I will say that this is an expensive powder, but it is absolutely worth it. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to grab a big old brush. This one is limited edition, but I didn't have a brush that I would use this with because I wasn't thinking I was going to like something like this. So yeah, now I'm on a search for a brush. So I'm going to use this one. This one is the MAC 126 Special Edition from the, what was this? The Wash and Dry collection. So I'm going to use the natural side. Pick up some powder, and quite a bit gets on there. I kind of push it into the brush in the cap and then tap onto my skin. And you can see it does not change the color of my foundation at all. It just, it smooths out my skin, gives it a nice radiance to it that is so skin-like but refined. Like everything just looks more smooth, more beautiful, more everything. So I'm just going to do the same thing to the rest of my face. Do you even know how weird it is to not use this guy? Like, that's insane. I have used that other brush with other powders every day for over 2 years. Every single day. So when I switched this step up, it was huge. It was huge. So this is another thing that's really weird to me. I usually love this type of bronzer. This is the Makeup Forever Pro Bronze Fusion. And I love my delicates, and I love to apply it with a dense brush. So what I used to do was take something like this that was really dense, get the product and really buff this into my skin and be really specific about where it goes. Yeah, not no more. Not no more. Not anymore. So I obviously, because I used that brush all the time with the other ones, I always used it with my Hourglass bronzer, and this one is in Luminous Bronze Light. And it would be kind of pigmented. I loved it, but I had to be really careful. New favorite. Absolute favorite. I've had this brush for forever, since it came out. This is the MAC 135. And Desi Perkins is always using this brush for her bronzer. I'm like, yeah, that's not my thing, blah, blah, blah. Well, then I started doing this kind of look with my skin, and I was like, let me pull out this brush and this bronzer. Yep, have not switched ever since. So I get the bronzer on my brush, tap off the extra, and just lightly press this into the skin. Like, it's, look how beautiful that is. It's freaking stunning. And then I take it up here, all around. It's so much more natural. And yeah, it makes my skin look like it's glowing. So yeah, this is my new favorite combination. So this is where I always stop and then go do my eyes. So I'm gonna do that, and then I'll come back to finish off the rest of the face. Eyes are done, and now I'm going to move on to the rest of my face. Now, I do know that these were pulled. This is the Kat Von D Shade and Light blushes, but I'm going to use it today anyway. If you want something similar, then MAC Melba or Peaches is a really good dupe for it. But yeah, I think they're going to repackage because it has some issues, but I'm going to use this guy. So I'm going to swirl the colors together on a MAC 129, and I'm going to smile a little bit and just put it on the apples of my cheek. I used to really bring it back, but I'm not doing that anymore. Like I said, I'm changing the way I do things. You know, it's kind of nice to evolve and, you know, learn some new tricks. So popping this on the apples of my cheek, and then I will go in with my contour. For my contour, I'm using a Real Techniques contour brush and then MAC Sculpt Shaping Powder. You can get this guy online. And I'm just going to sculpt out right over top of where my bronzer and my blush is. And I kind of go to the top, swoop down, and go back and forth, and then blend this upward. Take a little bit up here. And then down these sides of my nose. I'm not real precise about my nose. I never have been. And then the extra right down here. Just the extra though. You don't want to like add a bunch of pigment and look like you have a 5 o'clock shadow. So don't do that. Now for the next step, I could totally still use the Mehr powder, but this one that I'm going to use is a little bit brighter, and I don't like to waste the Mehr because it's more expensive. But this one is brighter. You could use your Laura Mercier translucent if you want to, but that one hates my skin, so I'm using the MAC set powder. You can get this online, and I'm going to grab a little triangle sponge and get some product in here onto my sponge, and then going right underneath the contour. Little tapping motions towards the corner of my mouth, get it all over my shirt. You know, if you don't get it on your shirt, you're not doing a good job. And then just bringing some more product down. This helps to clean up and brighten right underneath the contour. It's called baking. You can do this underneath your eyes as well if you want to. It makes me age 10 years if I do that, so I don't. But I do like to clean up the contour with it. Now I'm going to let that set for about 10 minutes. I'm going to figure out what shade of lipstick I want to wear, do a few things, and I'll be back to buff this off. Alright, it's been about 10 minutes. I've put my lip on in case anyone's wondering. It is MAC Mehr, and I'm going to just start buffing this right on off. And you can see that kind of cleaned up the contour. However, I do go back and kind of, without any extra product, go right back over it just because I don't want it to be super sharp. So that's how I do that. And then I finish off by taking this brush to the rest of the face. Any dual fiber brush will work though. I'm going to use my favorite highlight as of late, and this is Brilliant from the Hourglass Strobe Lighting Collection. And I'm using my Wayne Goss, I think it's number 4, it's number 3, sorry. I'm just going to pop this right on the tops of the cheekbones and then bring it up a little bit in a C motion, and then I blend it out a bit. I love these because it gives you that glow, but it looks like it's from within instead of like in your face. Then I'm going to put just a little bit on the tip of my nose. Don't go ham with this or else it can look crazy, and don't do it if you feel like you have a larger tip on your nose. So now I don't like to leave the highlight like this because even if I go in with Fix Plus or setting spray after, I still feel like it kind of still looks the same. So what I do is take Fix Plus, spray my beauty blender, squeeze this into it, and then I take it, tap off the extra on my hand so that it's not super duper wet, and then I go in and tap right over the top of the highlighted areas so that it kind of sinks it into the skin a little bit better and it looks a little bit more smooth. And the very last step is my setting spray that I've actually been liking with this kind of look. This is the Urban Decay Chill Makeup Setting Spray, and I'm just gonna set this and we'll be done. So that is my updated foundation routine. Please let me know if you guys want to see my skincare routine, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!